this morning on KVU Daybreak. A SWAT call turns fatal. Austin police share what led up to the deadly shot. Plus, state representatives tackle hot topics at this year's Trib Fest, the changes we could see in Texas law soon. And we're just hours away from UT's Big 12 opener. Can Texas handle the heat at the home of the Red Raiders? Good morning. Thanks for watching KVU Weekend Daybreak. I'm Dominique Newland.
And I'm meteorologist Jordan Darensberg. Your time is 9:01 in the morning. Happy Saturday. You've made it to the weekend. I hope everyone had a great week this week. Saturday should be a very exciting day. I'll talk about your lake forecast because I'll be judging a sandcastle competition at the lake today as well, Lake Travis to be specific. But we're taking a look at the tropics. But first, a nice look live outside. That's at DKR. The Longhorns, like I said, are on the road, but Texas State, the Bobcats, are at home. But let's take a look at those tropics because they have really started to pop up. Remember, we're past the statistical peak of hurricane season, but we've got 4 named storms to talk about. There's Hermine, which is actually off the coast of Morocco, not what we expected in the Caribbean. And we also have Gaston, that's bringing a good bit of rain shower activity to the Azores. But we've been watching post-tropical cyclone Fiona, which is now, of course, post-tropical, and it's made landfall over Nova Scotia. And there's Ian, what was supposed to be Hermine. However, Ian is going to be its name because Hermine formed off that coast of Morocco. It's expected to be a high-end category 2 by the time we get to the middle of this upcoming week, but temperatures right now upper 60s to low to mid 70s across the Austin metropolitan area. But cooler mornings are going to be on tap as we head through next week because of a weak cold front that's going to make its way through, and it's going to start to slowly but surely feel like the end of summer heading into early fall. So Dominique, I am pretty sure that you are a big fan of what's to come, and I'll have the details on that and more on those tropics coming up in just a little bit. I know you're smiling from ear to ear about these upcoming temperatures.
Ear to ear, you know I love my fall temperatures. Thank you, Jordan. Well, this morning, after hours of attempts to de-escalate a situation by Austin police officers, one man is dead and a SWAT officer is on leave. That shooting stemmed from a domestic disturbance call that happened yesterday morning. APD says the call came in before 9:30 yesterday on Caddy Street near Riverside and Montopolis. The family of the man and neighbors were near the scene in southeast Austin when that shooting occurred. KVU's Maria Aguilera was at the scene, and there she spoke with family of the man who police shot and the neighbors who were there. But we do want to warn you, in this video, you'll hear shots fired and family members of the man who was shot cry out, and it may be disturbing to hear.
A domestic disturbance call Friday morning led to a man being shot and killed by an APD SWAT officer. The call came in around 9 a.m. APD Chief Joseph Chacon says officers found a man with a gun standing in a street.
The subject actually made the statement saying he would shoot himself if officers refused to shoot him.
For hours, Chacon says mental health officers and hostage negotiators tried to de-escalate the situation. Officers tried to use a taser and less lethal rounds to subdue the man.
The subject then reached for the gun and attempted to pull it from his waistband. At that time, a SWAT officer deployed his weapon, his duty weapon, and struck the subject, and the subject went down.
The man's brother, Danny Granado, says he tried to get officers to let him communicate with his brother before he was shot, but they said no.
And I told the officers, I don't see no gun in his possession. Oh, no, we got this under control. I said, man, please, man, y'all let me go. Let me go do this for my little brother, man. He'll listen to me.
A neighbor who didn't want to be identified recorded this video.
Oh, they shooting him.
She also claims she didn't see a gun.
I feel like that he can get through to him better than y'all could. Y'all been out here for 3 hours with him. Y'all couldn't get to him. Y'all couldn't get him to surrender, none of that.
Chief Chacon says that wasn't the case.
I've seen the video myself. The video will be released. The man was armed.
And that police never want to see situations like this end this way.
My heart certainly goes out to the family of the person involved, goes out to my officers who were involved, because I don't want anyone to ever have to go through this.
Now, APD plans to release the body cam video from the shooting in 10 days. And per APD policy, the officers who were involved are on administrative duty. Meanwhile, school safety remains the top priority for schools all across the state. And Lake Travis ISD could soon be equipping school district police with bulletproof shields.
All those in favor? Maybe not. Motion carries unanimously.
The school board voted unanimously to apply for a grant to purchase them this week. They're asking for 7 shields, which cost $9,000 each, totaling to $63,000. And that money would come from the bullet-resistant shield program that was implemented at the end of June by Governor Greg Abbott in response to the mass shooting in Uvalde. The state set aside $50 million for the program. School districts can apply, and then once approved, districts like Lake Travis have 12 months to purchase the shields. And families of the Uvalde victims are demanding the state raise the minimum age to purchase AR-15s like the ones used in the Robb Elementary School shooting. But the committee in charge of the investigation is split on whether or not that's the right solution. The split is consistent with the deep partisan divide between Democrats and Republicans across the nation. Many have called for the Texas Ledge to discuss it when they convene earlier this next year. El Paso Representative Joe Moody said, quote, "If we walk away from the legislator not addressing that issue, then I think we failed not only the community in Uvalde, but we failed the people of Texas," end quote. As of right now, Texas House Speaker Dade Phelan says he doesn't see the House making huge changes to gun safety legislation in the next session, but says state legislators could consider exceptions to the state's abortion ban. During this weekend's Texas Tribune Fest, the House Speaker shared House members are concerned the law criminalizing abortion currently has no exceptions for rape or incest. KVUE spoke to Ayan Mitra, the senior managing editor for the Tribune, who says there's also another reason we could see some changes soon.
He also said that he's heard from medical professionals about concerns related to the abortion ban and things like miscarriages and ectopic pregnancies. So that was a big thing that came up.
Representative Phelan says he wasn't clear on how the House would vote on adding exceptions. TripFest has brought a lot of hot topics back in front of Texans, one being the reliability of the state's power grid. Interim CEO Brad Jones spoke about it yesterday. He says there's a couple of reasons people have noticed higher electric bills this summer. The first being more people are using more energy. Consumption was up 30% more in July this year compared to last year. The second, higher natural gas prices. Jones also touched on the 2021 power grid crisis, saying ERCOT has been working to make sure we never see anything like that again, but he's urging Texans to do their part in times of conservation.
If you ran your home at 68 degrees most of the time, I'd be quite all right with you doing that, as long as you continue to help us when we need it.
Pablo Vegas, a utility executive from Ohio, will take over duties as the ERCOT CEO on October 1st. New this morning, post-tropical cyclone Fiona has officially made landfall in Canada. The Category 3 storms brought powerful winds and heavy rainfall along with it. Here's ABC's Christine Sloan.
People in Canada are bracing themselves ahead of what's expected to be a historic weather event there.
This storm is going to hit us, folks. It's going to hit us in the face. And so we have to be ready.
Hurricane Fiona is pushing north, triggering a rare hurricane warning in Halifax, Nova Scotia. As it makes its way, Fiona is kicking up surf and causing rip currents along the east coast.
Never want the storms to actually hit the coast. We just want them off the coast to generate the waves.
That's after Fiona left behind destruction in Bermuda. A similar scene in Puerto Rico. Actor-director Lin-Manuel Miranda is urging people to help.
My family in Vega Alta, they still don't have electricity. They still don't have running water. We're running on about a week since the storm touched down.
Meantime, all eyes are on Tropical Storm Ian, which is forecast to strengthen and potentially threaten Florida. People there are already starting to prepare, some filling sandbags and fueling up, others flocking to grocery stores.
Get your supplies early, because if that thing is predicted for in the cone, you're going to see a lot of things empty out of the grocery stores fast.
Much of Florida is now under a state of emergency. The approaching system could also further delay the launch of NASA's new moon rocket for the historic Artemis 1 mission. Officials are closely monitoring the weather and will decide if they'll roll the rocket back to the hangar by Saturday afternoon. Christine Sloan, ABC News, New York.
And this afternoon not only marks when we'll hear about the launch, it's also the start of conference play for Texas football. The University of Texas will take on Texas Tech in Lubbock in a matter of hours. And a couple of key players are injured. Quinn Ewers was injured in the first quarter of their game against Alabama, and Hudson Card played through his injury last week. But Charles Wright and Malik Murphy are ready just in case. Kickoff for this game, 2:30 p.m. this afternoon. And still ahead on Daybreak this morning, as cities across Central Texas continue to grow, it's forcing facilities in Central Texas to make some changes.
I thought everyone was joking until I actually watched the videos this morning.
Plus, the creature waddling to find help back home from the people he was sure would help. Stay with us.